Hey guys, today I'm here with Chris, the founder and owner of Beta Coffee. Chris, how are you, man? Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
No, my pleasure. Just for context, before you talk about this cup of coffee, what's your background, man? Like, how did you get here?
Yes, so I've been in coffee for about 20 years. Just needed a job in uni, so stumbled into just the local coffee shop. Didn't even like coffee, just needed a job. And my friend's mom happened to own the place, so she took a chance on me and had my first specialty coffee experience in 2011 with a company called Madcap in Michigan. And it was an Ethiopian Sidamo coffee, and it was a field of wild dancing blueberries in my mouth. It was nuts. I didn't know coffee could be like that. So I was always that curious kind of kid asking why, like why, how? And so I just deep dove into coffee. But what if I was just into coffee? I would just be a home enthusiast. Yeah, and making a lot more money as a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. But what kept me in hospitality is I fell in love with hospitality. And coffee just is my chosen vehicle for that. So I had an experience when I was working at the shop initially. A regular customer came in and he said, he was kind of looking down and like he's having a rough day. So I thought, oh, let's bring a cookie to his table with this coffee. Brought him a cookie, said, hope you have a great day. And after I left, I could see him kind of tearing up and he turned to me and goes, thank you so much, that really meant a lot. And I was like, oh, it's fine, just a cookie.
Yeah, that's great.
And I turned around from that conversation and I go, I want to do that the rest of my life. I want to find 10,000 little ways to make someone's day better. And if I can use coffee as a vehicle, even better. So that's why I'm still in hospitality, is because I fell in love with that. Like the aha moment of coffee, the shared experience of like, whoa, this is amazing, and just a moment to make someone's day, to connect, to build a community. So that's why I'm still here.
Man, that's dope. So, I mean, that's why I come here, because I guess everything that you seem to do comes from the heart. You have this strong passion for it.
Yes.
And that comes down not just to the product that you're delivering, but the experience you're giving people.
Yep.
And I feel that you've always given me a nice, warm experience here. And of course, you've got tremendous coffee. So that's why I wanted to sit and talk to you, man, because I think that's such a special thing to have. And I appreciate that. My journey with you has kind of been, I came in one day, I sat down, I've always walked past this alleyway, I didn't know what it was. And I was like, what is this place? Can I do you sell any food? And you were like, just coffee, that's it. Maybe one day we'll sell some food and other things, but just coffee. And I feel like you're the mad scientist of coffee, but you've got this passion for it. And I said, how can you get away? How can you get away in this day and age? Just having with one thing that you're really good at. And I was like, how's it going? You're like, it's going good.
Yeah.
And I was like, tell me more. Why is it going good? And from memory, you were saying, well, we're just so passionate. We do everything really, really well. And it was just the basics. I mean, tell me, it was like the way you're taking care of the water, the way you're brewing it. What was that? What kind of thought are you putting into it?
Yeah, no, it's just like, I think when you have any industry or craft where people actually care, like they care so much, like that passion, that care brings people in. So we don't have to do a ton of advertising. We just kind of let the products speak for itself, and our passion and our care for the customers and the products. But like we care about every aspect, from the water, which is the reverse osmosis water, and then we remineralize it with our own mineral blend, and then even each cup will then refine with our own mineral drops. And to the storage of the coffee, to who's roasting, who the farmers are, and the beauty of technology these days with Instagram and stuff, I can DM the farmer, I can DM the roaster, and we could all be messaging back and forth, asking questions about the coffee, learning from each other, connecting, and that's just amazing. That someone in Colombia, and then the Archers here, who's in UAE, and the Longboard family, Longboard farm, they're in Panama. So we all can connect. It's really so special.
So dope.
And so it's a shared passion. The coffee community is so tight. Like everyone knows everyone around the world. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
For me, I felt that passion was so, it was so clear, and I could feel it in your product, and you're solving this problem for me on a regular basis, of like, how do I start my day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just a small problem, that is important.
Yeah.
You know, small problems are often, doesn't mean they're less important,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So I got curious. I was like, so you're selling these, you know, these $5, $6, $7 coffees.
Yeah.
And you were like, Ed, you want to try something a bit different? Try this $12 coffee. And I was like, a $12 coffee, this is outrageous,
Yeah.
you know? Because there is obviously like a bit of a, I guess you could call it a cost of living crisis. And everyone's like really upset about the cost of a cup of coffee out here.
Sure.
And it's not as if coffee shops are killing it, right? But then all of a sudden I could feel that I could taste the difference in a $12 cup of
Yeah.
coffee, you know? And I don't get it every day.
Yep.
But I would have it as a bit of a pick-me-up, and I've brought people here when they're down and out.
An end of the week treat.
Yeah, well, I've brought people here who have been through tough circumstances and said, hey, let's have a $12 cup of coffee. And it actually lifted their spirit, you know, which is crazy. I mean, people that have been through all sorts of stuff. And I thought, how far does this rabbit hole go? and that's why we're here today. I'd like you to tell me about this particular cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Well, let's start off. Let's just address
Yeah.
the elephant in the room. Should I grab it?
Yep.
How much is a cup of this bad boy?
That's $70 a cup.
A $70 coffee.
Yes.
And I'm here, man. Like, you've sold me. You've kind of, and I say that term like with all the love in my heart. You know, I run a sales company.
Yeah.
But you've taken me on this journey to the point where I'm like, I want to try a $70 cup of coffee. And I want my team to try a $70 cup of coffee, just because I know that you've got great stories behind these cups and why they cost this much. So take me through it, man. What are we looking at here, and how do you justify a $70 cup of coffee?
Sure.
Yeah.
Look, I think the easiest way to kind of share about the why
Is this it?
coffee. Yeah, this is the coffee. Why coffee can cost so much. It's the same with wine. I think a lot more people are maybe familiar with the degrees or quality of wine, where they'll go to a wine bar and they'll see the $10 glass, the $20 glass, and then they kind of scroll on the wine list and the $3,000. Oh my gosh, crazy! But there's no one that's expensive for people, but no one's like, is that justified? You know, it's kind of like, yeah, of course, there's those kind of wines, but less people are familiar with that in and around coffee. So coffee is the exact same. I mean, we've got producers who are more notable, less notable. We've got some that are producing varietals of coffee, like a grape varietal, you know, Chardonnay, you know, or Pinot Noir. But there's coffee varietals. This particular is a green tip Geisha. That's the varietal of coffee. And so different varietals can fetch different prices as well. Geishas are often known for their quality. And florality and will often be winners in different competitions, but also auctions. So a lot of these coffees are grown on the top of mountains, and so as you go up a mountain, what happens? You get less and less land, so less and less coffee is available. So the demand is great for the higher end coffees. They're grown at these higher and higher elevations, but there's less and less of them. So then the demand increases, the price increases, and they'll literally do these best of Panama auctions, and where people bid on these coffees. And Justin's coffee, this is a longboard Windy Ridge green tip Geisha, natural, cold ferment, darkroom dried coffee. I'm going to go through all that in a second.
Okay.
But this particular coffee was a passion project of Justin Baudeman. He has a few farms in Panama, but this one is from his farm called Windy Ridge. And he would go out up to 30 times a growing season and hand pick the cherries that he deemed were ready. Now,
Each and every cherry.
Each and every cherry. Now, to give you context, a shot
I'm sorry, was this at the top of a mountain?
at the top of a mountain.
Okay,
so elevation, it's in a rainforest, you know.
So you're going into a rainforest. You're going up the top of this mountain. I mean, I'm scared to ask how tall it is. I mean, is it a big mountain?
yeah, pretty big.
And then you're waiting for these like seasonal cherries.
Yes. So yeah, these cherries will ripen at different rates, you know, based on the tree and the amount of shade and sun. And so he'll go out and pick the exact cherries that he wants. Normally you just take a harvester, you know, in Brazil it's flat, and so they'll take harvesters and go and just pick them all, you know, and then sort them later. but he will go and handpick the ones that he wanted. And so that's a labor of love. He doesn't have to do, he could hire a bunch of pickers and say, pick as many as you can from the tree. But he wanted to be extra discerning and it was a passion project. So he would go and handpick, and then he would hand sort and process and dry. And he would do it every step of the process himself. So the next step it was cold fermented, meaning he would take the coffee cherries. So the seed is the coffee bean, but the cherry is the fruit originally. And so they take the cherries and ferment them in cold water, so cold fermentation. And then he would dry them in what's called darkroom dry. So basically, away from the sun.
What is like a cold fermentation?
So
like do you normally ferment coffee? Like
processing methods have been really popping off in the last 5 years or so. I mean, before that too, but really catching notoriety and some wild scientific stuff happening on the farm. So,
Okay.
Most farms, you have pictures of like these dry beds in the middle of jungles with dirt and everything. But now you can walk into farms in different areas, Colombia, Panama, and you walk into science labs, medical grade, just like stainless steel, polished concrete, all these things. And so darkroom dried is they intentionally slow down the drying process to keep it away from sunlight. And so then in these dark rooms, they can control the rate of drying and with fermentation, you can do different kinds of fermentation. You can do aerobic, anaerobic, with oxygen, without oxygen. You can do it, ferment with different yeasts or bacteria you introduce into the fermentation. I mean, some people are even throwing fruit into these fermentation tanks.
There's also this time cost.
Yes.
That comes to it.
Yes.
After you've climbed the mountain
Yes.
and handpick the cherries.
Handpick the cherry. Then it's all the processing, and the more processing, the more expensive it is, the more time consuming. But again, this is a labor of love, and to kind of like top all that off. Unfortunately, Justin passed away this year.
I'm sorry.
And so this is his last harvest, so he was able to harvest, and then he passed away. So then all the cherries that are being sold now are from his last harvest. And
Incredible.
So in the same way, like when a famous artist, he passed away, their work increases in value, because we know that there's going to be no more future works. In the same way, there's going to be no more coffee from Justin. So this is a real special moment and an honor.
I had
privilege.
no idea.
Yeah.
It is an honor and a privilege.
To get to share in his coffee.
Well, when I asked you what the levels are, and you said, let me find something for you, and I said, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I had no idea that Justin had passed.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you, giving us that level of, I guess, speciality.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Oh,
Thank
of course. Yeah. No, it's a privilege and like coffee is meant to be shared. Like it's kind of like a really good special bottle of whiskey or a special bottle, really expensive bottle of wine. It would be a shame to drink that by yourself, and that's the beauty of coffee. It's meant to be shared and drunk together. And in this case, we can remember Justin and all the care and passion and be inspired by him and his legacy. And in our own crafts and passions, we can be inspired and put that same attempt to put that same level of care and passion into our own crafts. So
his commitment to excellence.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, that was a beautiful story. And I think it's really important that we also share these stories when transacting, when doing business and when trying to create a meaningful experience for people and trying to take them out of that day to day and take them away for a moment and just give them this ability to kind of disconnect from the hustle and bustle.
Yep.
It's good to kind of know what's behind it, what's driving it, and even you sharing that information about Justin and his passing. It adds another layer of mindfulness to it.
Yep.
So I really appreciate you sharing that.
Of course, a pleasure.
Thank you. So should we give it a shot?
Yep, let's give it a shot.
Hey, listen, I'm a clumsy guy. Do you want to lead the way for me?
Yeah, well, one kind of fun thing that we like to do, kind of top off a lot of our coffees, is we will I've created a mix of magnesium and calcium, and we vaporize it and we put it into the cup. So it adds a little bit of that theater that we like to do around here. The little bit of extra magic. So yeah, we have this little vaporizer which has magnesium, calcium, and water in it, and it kind of creates just a bit of that magic to the cup. I think that a visual representation of the magic of what you're about to taste.
Well, say when.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yep. So yeah, we're now gonna pour it into these beautiful cups crafted by Origami, which is a Japanese-based company.
You know, the cups as well add to the experience, the little things.
Yep.
I really appreciate how you think about all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. So the shape of the cup is gonna highlight the aromatics.
Should I give it a smell?
Yeah, please. Smell and then grab a taste.
Man, you know what's crazy is like, it doesn't even, I know it's coffee and I can taste the coffee, but it doesn't taste like coffee. It tastes like something else, you know. I can taste, I'm not a connoisseur. I'm just speaking as an absolute layman.
Please.
You can taste the berries. It's got this sweetness to it. It's almost like a hybrid of like tea
Yes.
and coffee.
Yep.
And I'm super grateful to be able to enjoy this super rare bag and to hear this story, man. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I'm not going to say like too much about the coffee besides that, you know, you can feel it. It's an experience. I'm having the experience and I like it. And it's something that I will keep up my sleeve, maybe as a bit of an abstract gift or an abstract experience I can give somebody. I mean, I can tell you I've paid more for a round of beer lately
That's it.
than I have for a nice pot of coffee.
You know, and that's what I always say. It's like you can be tasting some of the best coffee in the world for the price of an average cocktail. You know,
That's a great point.
So it's like skip one round and get an amazing coffee every week.
Yeah, I paid $35 for a cocktail on the weekend this big.
That's right. Yeah.
And it didn't do too much for me, and I certainly don't think there was much of a story behind it.
No, it's amazing, yeah. So you can, the world of coffee is actually more accessible than we think. And even though $30, $40 for a cup of coffee is kind of like, we think, whoa, that's crazy. But when you put it in comparison to other beverages we're drinking, and we can access some of the best in the world of this, like that's crazy for $30, $40.
Yeah, it is. It is. And considering the effort that Justin went to.
Yeah.
Hand-picking berries.
Handpicking. Yeah.
You know, that's epic. I know Nick, my business partner, is a finance guy. Nick, I wonder what the cost per berry is on that one. But I was going to say,
Sounds like about $5 to $10.
but I was going to say, thank you again. And you know, I'd love the rest of the team to enjoy. And just for anyone listening, you can still come down here and get a hell of a $6 coffee.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to do every level with care and the same passion as the best. So.
You know, one thing that I always tell people is like, it doesn't matter what you're moving, what's your motive. And I just want you to know that your motivations and your passion have inspired me to try this. And then the way you tell the story have like really added another layer to it. So thank you, my man. And
pleasure.
Let's
Thank you.
enjoy, guys, let's all enjoy this wonderful cup of coffee. Thank you.